Hi guys, this is part 1 of my PSP collection. As it stands right now, I have 240 of them and counting. The first game is 300, based on the movie. The next game is 7 Wonders of the Ancient World. What it is there's a bunch of different grids, and they're divided up into squares, and on each square is a jewel. And underneath on the squares are tiles that you have to break on each square to clear the screen. And you do that by matching up the jewels by 3 on top of the squares. It's a pretty good puzzle game. If you like Jewel Quest and things like that, you'd like 7 Wonders. Ace Combat, Skies of Deception. Excellent adaptation of the Ace Combat series. Activision Hits Remixed. If you're a fan of the Atari 2600, you can't go wrong with this title. The Activision company really raised the bar on graphics for the Atari 2600. Adventures to Go, a very simplistic tactical strategy game. It's not bad if you're into tactical strategy, but there's nothing really complex about it. Afterburner, Black Falcon, excellent shooter. Excellent 3D shooter. Alien Syndrome, kind of a sci-fi version of Diablo. Ace Escape Academy. It's a collection of mini games involving the apes from Ape Escape. Ape Escape on the Loose, more mini games. Armored Core, Formula Front, Extreme Battle. It's a arena robot fighting game. It's really complex and hard to understand. If you're in an Armored Core, though, you can't go wrong with it. Astonishia Story. I tell you, this has got some of the most beautiful graphics I've ever seen on the PSP. I don't know why this game fell under the radar. The gameplay is relatively simple, but it's a beautiful game to play. Archer McLean's Mercury. It's kind of like the old classic Marble Madness, only with a glob of mercury instead of a ball. It's an excellent puzzle game. Atari Classics Evolved. This game comes with your normal everyday Atari collection, like Asteroids, Missile Command, Centipede. The only thing that makes this UMD unique is that there are unlockables for the 2600 games. There's like 58 2600 games on this disc. The thing is, you got to unlock them. You got to do all kinds of silly challenges, and they're very, very tough. The only way I was able to unlock the 2600 games was I went on GameFAQs.com and I downloaded the game save. That was the only way I could play the 2600 games on there. But if you can get past all the challenges, it's really worth buying. But what they should do, what Atari should do, is just release a disc with a collection of 2600 games on them. Battlezone, an updated version of the classic Battlezone game. B-Boy, it's a breakdancing simulator, but the thing is, the only thing really challenging about the game are some of the menus you have to go through. The Bigs, I didn't really like this game too much. It seemed like you had to be a nuclear physicist to understand some of the mechanics of the game. Blade Dancer, a no-frills RPG. Blitz Overtime, kind of a non-NFL version of a Madden, but in this game you get to play dirty as a football player. There's all kinds of dirty moves and power moves that you can make. Blocus Portable, Steambot Chronicles. I think this is a very underrated game. This is the game that made me fall in love with the board game Blocus. It's got both versions, both the 4-player version and the 2-player version. And if you're a Blocus fan, you cannot go wrong with this. I loved it, and it made me want to go out and buy the board game Blocus. Bomberman. It's basically, it's got 100 levels, and it's got the original Bomberman on it, but the graphics on this version are 3D. Bomberman Land. Basically, Bomberman is in a land full of mini games, and he plays a bunch of mini games, and it's also got the original Bomberman on there as well. Bounty Hounds. This is basically Dynasty Warriors in space. It's nothing special to it. If you like Dynasty Warriors and you like sci-fi, you might like this. Brave Story, New Traveler. It's an RPG. Nothing special about it. Brooktown High. This is basically a high school dating sim, and it had a lot of potential. I enjoyed the stuff I did with the game, but there's just not a whole lot of variety to it. There's a few mini games here and there, but there's just not a whole lot of things to do with it. Brothers in Arms, D-Day. This is kind of like Call of Duty, only with squad tactics. The thing I didn't like about it was sometimes the controls just aren't as responsive as they should be. Other than that, it's a good game. If you're into Brothers in Arms and Call of Duty, you might like this game. Bubble Bobble Evolution. It's got the classic Bubble Bobble game on there, plus a few other modes. Burnout Legends, one of the best racing games out there, and a really fun racing game. And I'm not that big into racing games. Bust-A-Move Deluxe. If you like Bust-A-Move, you'll definitely love this collection. There's over 1,000 stages, and it's a great. I love Bust-A-Move. I'm a big fan. And it's really addictive. So, Buzz Master Quiz. I've seen these games on the PSP, but I've never played them, so I don't know how to compare it. But I personally thought the questions were a little bit too easy for my taste. Cabela's Dangerous Hunts. Cake Mania Baker's Challenge. Call of Duty Roads to Victory. This is a very fun game. I enjoyed it. Capcom's Classics Collection Reloaded. Classic Capcom games, including, I believe, the original Street Fighter. Capcom's Classics Collection Remixed. More classic Capcom games. I believe this one has Strider, and it's got Final Fight. Capcom Puzzle World. This one's got Super Puzzle Fighter and Buster Brother games, and there's another game that's kind of like a Breakout clone. Actually, it's called, Capcom Puzzle World. Carol Vorderman's Sudoku. I bought this game way back toward the beginning of the PSP when they didn't have 1001 Sudoku games out, and it was unique. So, but apparently Carol Vorderman is some kind of British celebrity. Castlevania: The Dracula X Chronicles. This has got two classic games on there. You got Castlevania Rondo Sword Blood and Castlevania Symphony of the Night. I remember getting this in Iraq and playing it late at night after I got off work. And Chameleon. It's basically a board type game where you turn different hexagons into different colors and you're trying to take over the board from your opponent. It's not a bad game. It's a good budget title if you like that kind of thing, if you like board games. I enjoyed it, but other people might not be. But I'm glad I got it. Okay guys, that's the first part of my PSP collection. Tell me what you think. And coming soon, I'm going to show off part 2 of my PSP collection and part 7 of my DS collection. So keep an eye out and leave your comments and tell me what more you want to see. In the meantime, thanks and God bless.